Did you hear it?
Yeah,
All right. Greetings. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
All right. You put in for a session. You got some questions?
I do. I do. Um,
Go ahead.
I was just wondering, just from watching some of your videos, if you could go in a little more depth on how you think your diet and eating meat affects your spirituality.
Well, if you've been following me, you know that I tie physical health to mental health. And there's a
Hmm.
reason because the things that we eat determine how we think. And a lot of people don't know that. They don't teach you in the medical school the spiritual aspect of diet or the thing that we call diet. Now, when you eat animals, you got to understand that you are eating something that has DNA in it. And DNA is more spiritual than what we assume. Again, DNA holds memory, it holds emotion, it holds energy. Energy don't die. So that means that the animal, right, the physical part died, but the part that moved the animal never dies. It still exists in the form of in the form of energy. So therefore, when you are consuming this animal in your body, you are taking on something that you are becoming. If you look around today in America, look at the crime rate, right? You see a lot of people acting like the animal that they are eating. Pork eaters acting like pigs, right?
Hmm.
Chickens,
Yeah.
right? So the thing with that is when your body start to take in things that's not conducive to the biochemical structure, your DNA will shut down and cause certain parts of you to pick up things that is not alleviated inside of the RNA. That's your ribonucleic acids. That will pass information into what you call your lymphatic system and shut it down. So now you have things circulating in your body in the form of spirits. And now these animals can't cross out of the body because they were traumatically abused. When they were killed, they were traumatically killed. Like I said in my video before, when you're killing something in the house, right? You move it to that house, you can feel the presence of the thing that was killed traumatically.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So we have to watch what we eat because the animals cannot break down in our biochemical structure. The enzymes in animals do not go with the digestive system, which has something that they call a vagus nerve. That's our second brain. Now, the second brain in our gut is connected to the brain here in our head. So all of the ingredients or thoughts that break down in the gut and is sent to the brain. So if the thoughts of the food that you are eating is traumatized, then the person that's consuming the animal becomes traumatized as well. And this is why our communities are the way that they are. They are intellectually influencing the people by way of the foods. I tell people all the time, they don't have to put a hand on us no more. We can do it to each other by way of the things that they are processing and bioengineering in the food. They have artificial parasites, which we call toxoplasma parasites. These are very distinct from other parasites such as nematodes and trematodes. These are parasites that causes cancer and things like that. So the parasites in the body, what they do is they manipulate their host, which is the person. So for an example, when a parasite is hungry, what they do is they let off a pheromone or a gas. And it tricks the brain to cause it to have a chemical imbalance to make that person think that they are hungry when in actuality, it's the thing in their body that's hungry. You have parasites that don't even want to eat food. They just like to lay infections in the body and to be passed on from one host to another. So when these parasites lay infections in the body, they let off a pheromone, and then a chemical imbalance will happen in the person to make them become sexually active. So that person is now passing on, they now passing on that parasite through the sperm or the urinary wall.
Mm.
All right. So our mental health, our mind, to go into the spiritual aspect of it, we don't understand that when animals die, right, they have
Uh-huh.
something in them called chromosomes as well. And these chromosomes, they tie into our chromosomes, which on the end we have something called telomeres. Telomeres has a lot to do with the aging process. So when their chromosomes and their telomeres intertwine with ours, upon death, that can keep us from crossing over properly because now your chromosomes are now traumatized due to animal DNA being mixed with human DNA, which confuses the body. The body don't supposed to have animal DNA in it
Mm.
because you are not an animal.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
the people in the community are acting the way that they're acting because there are things in our food causing chemical imbalances in the brain that's assisting them into picking up personalities in the foods that they think is dead, but the actual force or the energy in the DNA is being replicated into their ribonucleic acids, which is being passed on to the DNA and slowly changing the characteristics of the spirit within that person. So a lot of people walking around doing things that they don't even know that they're doing because they are like the movie Get Out, right? When you look at the movie Get Out, that whole movie was letting you know what was going on with everybody in America. I used to think that it was just the people in Hollywood and the rappers and stuff. But no, a lot of people are in a sunken place. And they can control the motor skills partially, but the personalities that these people are engineering to the food in these military facilities are actually in the front driving the vehicle, the body. This is why they can't stop doing the things that they say they can't stop doing, because for a person to say that they can't stop eating foods that they know is not conducive to their biochemical structure, that lets you know that that's not that person saying that.
Yeah.
But these people are their technology is so deep to the point where they found a way to trick the spirit, not the soul. They found a way to trick the spirit of the people into making them think that that's them saying that, or that's them that can't quit eating the foods that's breaking them down, instead of something else which is actually in the body that they are putting in these animals. You don't think they have machines? This CERN system, the Hadron Collider, this CERN system that they use to collide particles and open up portals, it ain't just for that. Some of these facilities got it where they're processing food, where they're colliding particles into the foods, right? And these particles are opening up portals inside of these foods, these animals. They're not killing animals on the farm no more. Most of these animals are underground inside of facilities, and they are aiming these Hadron Colliders or the CERN machine at these animals and colliding particles into these animals, opening up portals, right? And causing things from these portals to walk into these animals, and then they process them. The cellular structure, what it does is it traps these energies. A spirit ain't nothing but energy. That's why when you're around people, you say, something don't feel right about this person. That's because they are energy. You are feeling the energy of this person, which is the spirit. It's just another word. That's it. This is why we got to watch who we hang around. We got to watch who we make contracts to sexually, because the people pass on demons in the form of negative karma. And the next thing you know, you get up out of your bed and go to the store, and you had an accident that won't meant for you, but the person that you made a contract with sexually in the bed at your home. Now your house is turned upside down. It's intellectually influenced. The foods is causing 80% of the crimes in our communities and all of the diseases in our communities. They've been engineering this since the 90s when they started putting government cheese in the communities. The Black woman is the most suppressed woman in America. Why do I say that? Look at the statistics of who's the most misdiagnosed. It's you. Yeah. And they do it for a reason, because your breast milk. Remember, Clinton was buying breast milk from Black women in the 90s. There's a reason for that. It has lauric acid. It has an alkaloid in it, which is a base for drugs and for other things too as well that can become human temporarily. And it's something in your breast milk that cures cancer when they cross it with other cultures of enzymes. This is why they had to get your protector out the home in the 90s. So they had to come up with a group, this feminist group. So that way they say, look, we got to get the protector of the garden out of their house, because this is the prize. You all are the prize. But the thing is, a lot of Black women think that they're in the medical field when they become CNAs, nurses, RNs, and all of that. That's not the medical field. Black women were doing that back in slavery when they were in the house, wiping the asses of these people, fixing their foods and things like that. So I always encourage, and this, I'm not saying this to judge Black women, because I know y'all potential. I know the power. I come from you all. I'm telling you all to get into these laboratories.
Yeah.
This is why I got over 100 women that are certified a microbiology laboratory technician, and they're studying hard because they need to be able to diagnose each other. The misdiagnosis is a justification to get to your spiritual world, which is in your DNA. So what they do is they create parasites that is addicted to testosterone, and they put it in the meat. So when a man eats enough of it, it goes down to the testicles, and these parasites lay infections. These parasites go into the brain, lay infections. Turn the man from being masculine to feminine, just like women. They don't understand when women eat a lot of meat, they go from being feminine to masculine. This is why fibrins build up in the uterine wall, which causes fibroids, and then you have to pull your womb out because your body no longer wants to be feminine. Testosterone messes up the reproductive system of the woman. And this gives them justification to pull your womb out, and your womb has something in it. That same alkaloid that they use to make drugs, to cure cancer. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do. I understand. Yes.
So yeah, you all need to get into them laboratories because you all are the targets. And it's my duty to alert you all to let you know. But the thing is, it's beings like myself that come in this age and time, and these people know that stand outside of time, right? In this space, not space in the sky. They can see things that's going to happen 10 years from now. So they try to disrupt the information. These people are already hours away from what's going on right now. Life ain't nothing but it's a DVD. And these people know how to fast forward while they keep you in the same space, in that same loop. And the foods, I put emphasis on it. The food, the things that we are eating, they are using them to bait us as hosts to get into these DNA strands. Because our DNA strands are satellites that have worlds in them. All right.
All right.
Got any other questions?
So, just to kind of go off what you were just saying, especially like with the Black women, you think the biggest thing is for them to educate themselves?
Well, if you don't, somebody else gonna think for you. And if you don't know who's thinking for you, then you're more dangerous to yourself and to your children than you are they are. Because the thing is, like, if somebody else can take over your mind and tell you that this is how you're supposed to think, then they can control everything in your path that's supposed to be intellectual and use you to bring that intellect to them to use against your counterpart, to use against your children. A domino effect. A lot of the things that's going on in so-called Black communities today is because of the foods and the drugs they placed in our communities. People don't know that crack cocaine, right? There was a chemical in it that they pulled from the melanocytes and melanin of Black people in the 90s. And they understood the science of being able to cause something to be addicted to something more deeper in a substance. So they took this alkaloid out of this melanocyte and this melanin, and they put a certain percentage in the crack cocaine, and we didn't even know the reason why we were addicted to it more than anybody else is because a part of our spirit was inside of this substance. And they used Freeway Ricky Ross, not the fake Ross, the one that rapped. I'm talking about they used Ricky Ross. Well, he might as well say he's fake too because he played on the agenda.
Yeah.
I call it how I see it. So they used our spirit against us in the 90s because they knew that we thought that the Aquarius age was just opening up at a certain time, but it had been. You want to catch the end. You wanted to catch Aquarius age when they first come in, because that's when the most potent energy comes in. Just like the eclipse, you want to catch when they first come in. Just like in the morning, your first urine, that's where your most potent. It's more potent. This is where the most minerals, the most urea, right?
Yeah.
Which is very beneficial. But a lot of people ain't ready for this conversation, so I'm gonna skip past that until the time is right. But the most potent energy is when certain planets go into retrograde to present itself to certain people, not with blood type differences, but with cellular system differences, because everybody's cellular system is not the same. See, they put us to sleep with this blood type stuff. Imagine me telling you that you can eat this certain animal because you this blood type.
Yeah.
And I already said that animal did. Yeah. Think about it. And I already said that animal DNA can't be mixed with human DNA. So why would you want to do that? Because the people don't think, they don't study, they don't learn. The majority of America is too busy chasing a dream that's really a nightmare. We in the club shaking our asses. Our children at home by themselves. They killing each other. If we don't see the darker agenda in the hand that's controlling the unit that used to be ran by the order of nature at one time, which presented a bigger eye in our soul, which helped us to capture the agendas that we can no longer see in this day and time. And it automatically transferred to our children. We didn't just pass on genes to our children. We passed on intellect. And now at birth, they are extracting this intellect from your umbilical cord. Right? Yep. From your placenta. And then they give you all of these pills, these postpartum depression pills, right? Or these multivitamins before you have your child, which slows down the flow of the breast milk, which produces the antibodies that's needed just in case the child has a certain illness when it comes out. I don't think people understand how powerful breast milk is. Whenever you got governments buying it from Black women in particular, that means that there are structural enzymes in there that goes beyond being assistance for brain food. They tell you it's for brain food, but it's not. If a child is born, right, with a certain type of deficiency or a mental health issue, the genetic material that's producing the breast milk would take that information and wrap it around those strands of RNA, and those acids were produced in the breast milk. So that when a child come out, all you got to do is feed that breast milk to that child. And now that child no longer has that mental health issue or deficiency. The body is miraculous. It's just that we don't even communicate with it no more unless we're trying to cover it up with fake hair, fake nails, fake eyes, fake eyelashes. We are saying to the temple, we hate you. We don't even want to talk to you. We want to cover you up because I'm not pleased with how I look. That's spiritual. What are you saying to all the Christians? What are you saying to your God when you say that? That he didn't do enough in creating you in the image and likeness of himself, which it says in your own book? The animals is the ancient books. If you study a bird will teach you how to tap in to those unseen and unheard sounds that flows within the wind that captures light, which we call ether, and the weather. 2 or 3 weeks before an earthquake comes, they tap in. And at one time, they were our teachers before these satellites were placed in some of these artificial trees. Yep, you got artificial trees with satellites in them, and they were sounding off things that would repel the psychic chemicals that the birds would let off in the environment and this light that we breathe in. Just like trees give us oxygen, we give it carbon dioxide and give us oxygen. Trees wasn't the only thing that used to give us things. I mean, yeah, trees was the only thing that used to give us things such as oxygen. The birds used to let off pheromones as well too, and put chemicals in the air that would cause us to tap into the weather and see the earthquake before it came, or see the hurricane or the floods before it came. They turned it off. Because now most of the birds in the community ain't real neat. I said 10 years ago that when we sleep at night, about 1 or 2 in the morning, you got city trucks coming through or vans without windows on, dropping off stray cats with chemicals in them, things in them that they press buttons on, and they spraying our communities through these cats. So now you got chemicals coming off the fur of these cats. And now next thing you know, we walk outside, somebody getting shot. And we don't even know the chemical imbalances that is causing our brain to make us aggressive was caused by the stuff that we're breathing in that we can't see. This is why we need to master the things that we can't see, because that what you can't see is more powerful than the thing that you can see. And until we see ourselves as not being seen, then we will go beyond the individual that we see in the mirror. Right? That's beautiful, right?
Definitely.
Right. All right, so thank you for tapping in, and hopefully next time, you put in something, you put in a session and stuff like that, and we can go deeper into the markers of DNA, because again, a 15-minute session I can't do much, but put in your session and then we'll pick up where we left off. So thank you for tapping in, Queen.
Thank
Talk to
you.
you.
I appreciate you.
Peace.
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 Mama, mama, mama.